Assistive technology, or AT, is any device, gadget, hardware, and/or software used by a person to do things for themselves that might otherwise be difficult or impossible to do because of their disability. Assistive technology can range from low-tech to high-tech and help people of all ages with disabilities. These tools can be used to augment and support a person who has some functioning or an alternative for a person who has no functioning, such as someone who is blind or deaf. It is important to know AT for young children will not interfere with their development, for example, in the areas of walking, talking, or writing. The child will not become dependent on the tool. In most cases, it will reduce the child's frustration and increase their participation in daily activities at home and school. Please refer to the handout on research debunking AT myths. FAAST, which stands for Florida Alliance for Assistive Services and Technology, is one of the 56 state AT programs available. We provide AT services such as information and assistance, AT trainings, AT demonstrations, and AT device loans. These AT services are free of charge to everyone, including but not limited to individuals with a disability, family members, allied health professionals, educators, and employers. AT can be obtained through insurance, school, and vocational rehabilitation for employment purposes. Lending libraries through the state AT program can provide short-term loans of devices to try before you buy. As physicians and/or allied health professionals, it is important to know that these tools exist for a broad range of disabilities and where to refer your patients, clients, and families. Welcome to the FAAST Lab. My name is Sadie Vega Velasquez. I am a speech language pathologist, and I will be taking you on a virtual tour of our lab. During this tour, I'll be demonstrating some assistive technology tools so you have a better understanding on how they work.
On the videos. So, how do most of us learn to our environment and about our environment is through play. But how about if we're a very complex body and we do not have the ability to play with a car or a doll like you and I have the ability to do so? Anyone know?
Technology, remote control.
How about if I can't do that? My hands are very spastic.
Can it be like visual?
But I want to participate.
Verbally?
How about if I don't have verbal? It's complicated, right?
Frustrating.
And frustrating. This is exactly why I kind of wanted to put those roadblocks. Imagine you're a child in a wheelchair, or an adult in a wheelchair, can't verbally speak, cannot control their environment. How do they do so? And they do so through technologies, which I'm going to show you. We have different levels of technology. There's low tech, high tech, and mid tech. We're going to be seeing about all of those ranges, and I'll kind of point things out as we go. But play is very important. That's how we kind of learn that cause and effect, that interaction that will build later on language and that kind of sort of thing. And most individuals will learn through switch adaptive toys, which is like this box right here. So all you need is this little, I guess, adapter to the bottom of it. and you can plug in a switch, and this is like a direct touch switch. There's multiple other ones that we're going to kind of see and look at, and all they have to do is push, and all of a sudden I'm engaged. I'm playing. I made something go when before I was not able to make it go. I made it stop, and I'm engaged. I learned that cause and effect, and that's really important. So I'm going to have you go around, kind of push it to feel how much sensation or pressure an individual may need to actually activate this switch. Maybe someone doesn't have the ability to even use an elbow or a knee or a foot on that switch, but they have really good control of their head, and they can push their head back, because it has to be a very voluntary movement that they have control over, because if not, then they lose the purpose. So this one, this is a pillow switch, so I kind of want you to feel it. So this one is actually my favorite. It's called the candy corn switch, and it's a proximity switch. It looks like the candy corn that we eat. There's a smaller one and a larger one. This is a large surface. It has visual and auditory feedback. So depending on the individual, you may or may not require those features, but it's you can turn them on and off on this one. The little one, it's standard. You can't turn those on and off. And basically you can hover any part of your body about an inch off the surface to activate. You can even, well, I'll let you get creative. Let's see what you come up with.
Like with your eyes, does it work?
No, but it does with your forehead.
Yeah. Wow.
There's different switch toys or items. There's the bubble maker. There could be a fan. It's basically anything that has this port can then be connected to a switch. So it's basically any like headphone jack kind of thing. Another simple option would be adding simple texture. This is for visually impaired, to a chip coin for them to participate in an activity that they may have. So visually impaired, one chip is normal, one has texture. So you guys, we have adaptive scissors. This is a tabletop one. PTs usually love this. And then there's this one. So I'll pass that around so you guys can see. There's also a lot of grips. So pencil grips. These are usually really cheap. Adaptive paintbrushes. So if someone has like a fist, they can paint. Take those from you. We also have this for great note taking. Someone with dyslexia usually has a difficult time with note taking due to that inversion of items. So this actually records while they're writing, so they can always go back and listen to it to see what they missed. It's a great tool for parents too. And then you can download the recordings onto an iOS device or computer. Now that's pretty much this. Our number one item that we get requested to borrow is our iPads because of the amount of apps that are on here. So if you take a look, there's a lot of different little apps. There's a lot of those windows. And most of the family's concerns are, yeah, but past feeding. Let's say they got the nutrition down. What do you think will be another number one reason someone would be coming to you about development?
Speech.
Speech and language. Very difficult for an individual. They're nonverbal, right? So we have these iPads that come with communication apps that they can try to see if they like it, if it worked, before they go and invest some of these high-tech options. So some of these apps cost about $300. And sometimes when families come to us, it's because they heard that, you know, we have something to help them. Word of mouth, which is a very powerful tool. But word of mouth can also be very, I guess, dangerous and a little unmotivating, because we had a family that was like, okay, I purchased this app because so-and-so said it was a great app, and then it didn't work for us. And now they have a $700 device collecting dust because it wasn't the right one for them. So it's very important that if a family comes to you and says, names an app for communication, refer them to us so they can try it, because not every app fits all. Everyone's a little different. So we want to make sure that they get the most out of their experience with AT, because if they get a sour experience, what will happen is that they won't want to pursue it again. And then they have a nonverbal child with extreme behavior difficulties because they're frustrated. So keep that also in mind when you're speaking to families, because it can be very dangerous. So some low-tech options of communication. Let's say you've kind of already seen some of these, which I'm going to actually demonstrate that one, some of these apps already. The low-tech versions are like the one on the wall, which is a direct point kind of touch for communication. This one gives you more options, because every single one of those areas will open up to more words and more options. Going back to a complex body, how about if I can't isolate a finger and I can't select those little squares? What are my options?
Like say it.
How about they're nonverbal?
Parents would point and they would say.
So that's partner assisted scanning, that's good, but how about if they don't have a reliable yes or no?
What about like
Eye scanning, yes. Head tracking and eye gaze, those are other options. So they have a really reliable blink maybe for yes and no. Or they can move their eyes to one corner for yes and the other corner for no. But then you also have limiting to only when someone asks them questions. How about if they want to ask a question? So that's when we go into eye gaze technology, which I'm going to demonstrate here. And a low-tech version of eye gaze is this board. The one that will be using this, and I'm the communication partner, so I would kind of see where your eyes are going when you make a selection. So that's kind of how it works. So here is the eye gaze. And anyone can use this. We can calibrate to one eye, both eyes, your glasses, and those of you who are kind of here in the perimeter will kind of not see everything, but one of you will get to try. So first thing we have to always do is look at the eye positioning. So these are my eyeballs. You need to be in kind of like in the middle of all these areas, which I am. Then we calibrate to make sure that it's as accurate as possible.
You have to follow there the dot.
Follow the dot with your eyes, and you have to focus on the red little center that it has. And then once I'm done, I am ready.
Wow.
Oh my god.
Do you blink to select?
Nope. You just stare at it. If you see, there's going to be a blue dot, and it starts diminishing in size when I'm going to make a selection to that.
Dog.
I'm not making any sense, but you can kind of see how it works.
Think.
Okay.
So just focusing your eyesight on that image automatically will select that
Yep.
word.
I'm going to make a sentence now.
Like. Like. To. Eat. Pizza. I like to eat pizza.
That was so easy. That was good.
Now, it's easy for me because I know where the words are.
Yeah, so I was like, it was good that you were showing it because it would take me 5 minutes to figure out where the words are. I want.
Yeah, and when you're an emerging communicator using eye gaze, that is what's going to happen. My eyes are already fatigued. That didn't take me very long to compose. I'm in front of a computer all day, so my tolerance for it should be, decent. But it's that focusing where you start diminishing. So I'm sorry, my eyes are killing me. So that's something to keep in mind when you have someone that's on an eye gaze system. Be patient because their eyes are going to start fatiguing.
What did you say the system is called?
This is an eye gaze.
Eye gaze.
They can have that application on their own iPads.
So iPads don't have eye gaze right now. They're working on getting that type of technology. For that, it would have to be this type of device that has this. Oh, I turned it off. Oh no. That has this type of bar that allows you to have eye gaze. So that one up there is another eye gaze system because of that bar that has underneath it, and that's on a surface. So Microsoft has that ability to adapt or add hardware to it to make it work. iPads are not there yet for that.
So this is
I have a question.
How much cost? And
This will cost
the offer?
about 14,000, 10,000.
So are families that afford to have one of these?
Insurance will cover it.
Really?
So as physicians, you will write the script for an AAC evaluation, which AAC stands for Augmentative on Alternative Communication. Then once we have that script, there's an evaluation that's done through a speech language pathologist. If they're very complex, we have occupational and physical with us because point of access, we have to make sure that eye gaze is appropriate for that individual. And then once we do that, we write a report and you guys basically sign off on it.
And we refer to y'all as well, or do we need to send them to pediatrician and then back to you?
They refer it to us and we can kind of help them walk through the whole process.
Okay, cool.
And do you guys do the training too?
Yes.
Okay, how long does it take you, like, average
So
to
the
train a kid?
family/parent training is their 4 sessions to really make sure that what we saw in the evaluation and we did our soft recommendation is truly our recommendation. We make sure that the language software is appropriate. We make sure that the access method is appropriate. Once all that is done, it's about 4 trials. Then we finalize the report and our recommendation and send it for funding through insurance companies.
But the training is with the kid?
Yes.
Okay. And what's
Parent
the
and
youngest
child.
that you've referred this for?
We haven't done eye gaze for a little one yet.
I mean, what type of deficit
But-
you need to have to use it? Because you need to be cognitively reasonable level to communicate,
Yes and
to
no.
control your.
Yes and no. They don't. We're showing it on the software. We can play games.
So you can do something else besides just going
We can do games first, and that's usually where we start. We start with games. It's like target practice, or with that one is my favorite to do games with because there's like an animated dog that's called Dilbert, and if they have options of giving him sausages or showing him a spider, giving him a ball, giving him a bone, and looking at those different icons, they learn that cause and effect. And then we move to a 4-button option, maybe of words. Like more, like we want more Dilbert or stop Dilbert or go Dilbert, things like that, for them to start understanding vocabulary together with the software and the power of their voice. It's a very interesting process and it's very complex. We had a CP 7-year-old CVI, which is cortical visual impairment. He is getting a win slate, and we started with games, and before you know it, he was able to tell me he wanted more minion, no more minion, if he wanted me to go away, and I ran away from him, if he wanted me to come back. So it's just making it enjoyable, so they understand that power, that they have a voice, because usually up until that point in time, they had nothing. So you're basically teaching them this whole process. Any other questions?
Yeah, how long does all this train, because I know it's games in the beginning or whatever, but how long do you see these kids?
It depends on an individual basis, but we see them for 4 weeks. After that, they will continue
Every
seeing the
day?
speech. 1 week, sorry,
Once a day.
one session
A
a week. Or they sometimes double up if they want to finish sooner. The point is that we're not going to see them long term because they should be already have an SOP working with them. If they haven't, they need to get a full-time SOP working with them.
SOP, what is that?
Speech language pathologist,
Oh, okay.
SOP.
The insurance covers this fully?
Depends on the insurance. Sometimes some private insurances, you have that 20% that you have to pay, but it depends.
Oh,
But what about Medicaid?
100.
Yeah.
Medicaid cover 100%?
Do they tend to get covered pretty quickly to get this device? Because I know we have a lot of problems with like wheelchairs and stuff. Like
It all
it takes
depends.
ages.
It all depends on who's
Okay.
reviewing it, the insurance company, the company you're going with. It all depends.
My eyes already hurt.
Yep.
I'm not blinking. It's because I'm not blinking. Oh, wait.
Yep.
How do I erase?
The erase button or the clear is all the way in the bottom left corner.
Oh.
It's like completely.
Stay still.
It's hard. You can also change that. You can change the sensibility
This
of
is
it.
so sensible.
Mhm.
Ah!
You can.
Wait.
That's why you need 4 sessions.
Can you close your eyes if you're too tired? And
Yeah, and we can always pause. You can always pause yourself.
yeah.
So you can kind of
just
see.
to orient, maybe.
Yeah, I was like, you know what happens? I'm looking to what to look for, so my
Mhm.
button
Yeah.
is because I don't know where the buttons are. So
Exactly.
it's hard.
But you can, as long as you don't focus too much.
Can you just have a moment where you can see all of it without
Yeah, there's a
having to-
pause
So
button.
you pause it and
Ah.
then
You resume when you're ready.
Is it
Exactly.
also easy to like downgrade and upgrade the number of words?
Yes, so you can hide and only have a few options first and then open up the entire vocabulary. It's very user friendly in that sense.
luggage,
Wow, I would be like.
And you can also
Game.
make it longer, so if
Move
someone
that
needs
away.
more time to scan, you can make that
Why are you looking?
away.
I
It's
don't know.
probably close
I
to
went for
out.
out.
I like it. Where we traveling to?
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Okay, go to clear.
Sure. You don't have to move your head. You're doing like
Oh.
what we're doing with video games. And we're jumping when the little guy needs to jump. You don't have to. It's very hard to get used to that too.
Just moving your
toys,
Well, I guess that if a patient doesn't have any mobility on his head,
It's a little easier.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard because we're used to turning where we look.
Yep.
Like on the eye.
It's definitely like
You have to
reprogramming.
be like,
Still.
yeah, like you can't actually move that much.
It can be very exhausting.
Huh?
I had,
It's like cognitively exhausting.
Does it work with glasses on?
Yes.
Gabby, try it
she,
after.
You want to try it?
You.
Go for
No,
it.
my eyes already.
It's tired.
Oh, it's hard.
Well, I'm gonna go over a few more things before we have to
She
get
has
kicked
that.
out because we have to be upstairs by 1:30 or close to 1:30. So another option is head tracker. Definitely come back if you want to try it. Another option is head tracker. So low tech head tracking system would be using their head to nod yes or no. Mid tech would be as if I add a laser to it and then I put it on a pair of glasses or a hat or a headband and then we go to one of these stagnant boards and we use this.
Do you have the ones that are like a palette thing that you can control with your mouth?
That we don't have. We don't usually lend out things that have to do with like food items. Or
No,
things
but
now.
like for example, if a patient who
to show them.
or to get it for them, like to move a wheelchair, because I've seen it.
So that would be like a switch to do that. We don't have any here, but we can definitely refer them to somewhere where they can purchase it. We don't purchase items for a family.
So you don't purchase this?
No.
They can come and try it and see if they
As
if it
fast?
works.
Yes,
If
as
it's okay
fast.
for them. And
Mhm. As AAC clinic, we do the evaluation. So this is head tracker. You see that?
A head? That's not
What do you mean?
the
This is
glasses.
head tracker.
Okay, so now it's the opposite.
Is
Now
that
you
the
choose.
glasses?
So if you look at the glasses, they have this little metallic sticker, and that's what it picks up on.
So you can just add that to any
glasses.
Oh, good.
Or they put on existing glasses or on their skin. It all depends. So that's what this guy is picking up. See how it goes from
she,
green to red when I cover it. It attracts anything that's shiny, we'll turn it on. So that's how I would control. If the individual only has this much movement, we can make this much movement go across the screen. And the same way this way. So if they have very minimal movement, if they have like the slightest movement, we can make that go a long way.
Do you calibrate it every time you're going to use it? Like
This-
if they grain motion, you can
Yes.
change it?
Yes. It's not really a calibration, it's just playing with the proximities.
Okay.
Calibration is more when you're dealing with eyes. So it's very individualized.
Do you do like cognitive testing before just to know that they'll even be able to?
Right, that's what I was
identify
saying. They
So-
need to be.
We always presume competence. We don't really look at cognition as a factor. We do test receptive language just to see how much they understand. Not formally, it's informal. You know, can you look at this? Can you show me where the window is? Can you show me where the door is? Can you, things like that, just to get an idea of their receptive language. But we always presume competence. We never.
And for example, like an autistic child who's non-verbal, non-responsive, you have no way to.
Oh, we get them
test.
to respond.
Yeah, like no, my question is to test for receptive or not, because you don't. Like if you talk to him, maybe he won't respond, or her. I don't know.
You always have to make it engaging. So maybe they won't sit for a test, but I have a preferred item of theirs, and they would like to play with it, and they want me to make it go. If I show them, what would you like to play with next, and it's a preferred item I have, they're gonna answer, and they're gonna go for that toy. So you just have to know your audience and be able to target what they're looking for.
Not to engage them.
Mm-hmm. It's not like we're gonna sit there and we're gonna do a standardized test and hope something comes out of it. No. These type of evaluations are very informal, and they're testing their ability to communicate and make things happen. They control their environment, which most most kids like to do. We make slime, we color, there's tons of things to do.
And it's so fun that they're very interested, I guess.
Yes.
Now we're moving into the next room where it has items for visually impaired, hearing impaired, more communication options. You will also see environmental controls, adaptive keyboards, and additional switches. On the other side of the room, you will find items to assist individuals in daily activities, such as weighted spoons. We also have Alexa, which is an environmental control unit. We have a doorbell with a camera. There are also amplification devices, writing aids, alarm clocks, and adaptive phones and adaptive mice.
So we have liftware spoon is great for individuals with tremors. So basically it keeps 70% of its content on the actual utensil. So if someone with Parkinson's may have a tremor to help them eat.
Would they use that for adults as well?
Yeah.
Parkinson's is really common.
There's button hooks, page turners, magnifiers,
See, it moves like
ball grips, PTs. This is great for a little more than 4 or 5 motor, but it's okay. It happens all the time. For stability, to, like it's a ball grip,
But it's got a.
but it can be changed out. So this one has a stylus. You can put anything in here, spoon, anything that they may need. This is great for like little knobs. So the door right now is open.
Oh wow.
Locked it, and then I can open it again.
Why?
There's old school Alexa before Alexa was ever invented. So Alexa is actually an environmental control unit. So before we could say, Alexa, turn on my lights, you had one of these that you would push a button. So now the fan is on. Fan off. Fan off. So this is a trackpad. So basically think your computer, your like laptop.
Oh, that's good.
I can break it down. And then all these switches can actually be connected to an iPad that would scan high contrast keyboards, some AM systems. So there's lots and lots and lots of things for every age range.
What does Steven?
I would like to thank you for taking a virtual tour of our lab, and if anything interests you, please do not hesitate to contact us. Have a great day.